Hello and welcome to Koodcast, the podcast that aims to give you a glimpse into the world of Kood coding schools. Join us for interviews with school alumni, current students, industry visionaries and other fascinating guests. I'm your host, Priit, Koff. Enjoy! In this Koodcast episode, we gain valuable insight from Kristina Korobova, a recruiter at one of Estonia's most popular employers, Bolt. We're joined by current Kood students Kati and Sören to hear about their learning experience, and we revisit a recent discussion panel at JobFair, where tech leaders discussed whether artificial intelligence will eradicate many jobs in software engineering in the future. Spoiler alert, it won't. Good morning and welcome to the studio, Kristina.
Hi, Priit. Nice to meet you.
Very
Thank
nice.
you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming. We have brought you in here today for a very special reason because you work for a very interesting company. Which one is that?
Which is Bolt, of course.
And Bolt is, as I understand, one of the most prestigious employers in Estonia and one of the most sought-after companies to work for among developers.
Correct. Absolutely correct. We are among top 10 most desired companies according to cv.ee and CV Keskus. So yes, you're correct, Priit.
Okay, and what do you do there?
Oh, wow. That is a really tough question because we do a lot of things over there. Of course, we're a product company and we offer the service. I'm 100% sure that you have used Bolt at least once in your life.
Oh, not this morning.
Not this morning. Okay. Well, whether it's a taxi service, whether it's car sharing, scooters, e-bikes, because now finally spring is here. You can definitely use micromobility to get around the city. And of course, food. Either restaurant delivery or Bolt Market for the grocery delivery. You name it.
Okay. But what about you specifically? What do you do at Bolt?
Well, I'm a technical recruiter. So I'm the one who is hunting the talent and also attracting the talent in the IT sector. So our engineering and analytics teams are quite huge, and definitely we always need talent because Bolt is still growing. We have a lot of exciting new projects, and surely there will be more vacancies and more hunting for us as recruiters.
How many people actually are employed by Bolt at this moment?
At this moment, it's over 4,000 employees, like full-time employees. I'm not counting any seasonal workers or contractors, so it's 4,000 employees. And in Estonia alone, it should be over 1,000.
And most of these are actually software engineers or other jobs as well?
It's other jobs, of course. So if speaking about software engineering and like analytics alone, should be approximately maybe like 600, over 600 people, surely, like 100%. I need to check the numbers, but this number is changing and scaling, so it's quite big,
It's very big numbers. But what's your annual intake? How many people do you actually recruit every year for these positions?
To software engineering analytics? Good question. Again, well, to software engineering, at least about 100 to 120. We are, well, of course, considering both new hires and attrition. It's quite natural to have attrition. And if speaking about the analytics, this number is higher, either like over 100, also over 100, I would say. So it depends on new headcounts. It depends on new projects. And surely, since we're growing, it's quite natural that we are also having grad programs, having internships, having like some short-term positions. So, of course, this number can be different from year to year.
But that essentially makes you one of the largest recruiters in this field in Estonia altogether.
I would say yes, we're among the ones who are hiring the most. At the moment at Bolt, we have over 200 open vacancies, but it's globally, and it's not just software engineering analytics. It's like overall what we are doing.
Okay, thanks. But there is actually a connection between Kood coding schools and Bolt as well.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a bit more on those connections and talk about your past experiences of whatever you know about how cooperation has worked between Bolt and Kood?
Of course. Well, one of the co-founders of Bolt, Martin Villig, also have founded Kood Jõhvi. And Bolt is actually one of the main sponsors of Kood.tech, and we had a close collaboration for years. And one of the experience that I can definitely share that Kood.tech graduates also successfully get to Bolt. One of those instances last year when we had internships, we actually hired 3 graduates from Kood.tech out of 8 possible positions. So I would say that it was quite impressive result. And also I was told by my direct manager, who is actually leading both engineering and analytics recruitments, that Kood.tech graduates are among desired juniors and the ones who are aspiring their career in the tech. So they're actually desired candidates for us as well.
But why do you think that is? Why are Kood.tech graduates so highly sought after?
Well, because unlike, standard schooling program, they actually have life experience with actual projects, like real-time projects. So, and this is much more valuable than, blunt theoretical curriculum that is usually given at universities or at other schools. Theory is always good. Of course, you do need to know theory before you start practicing, but having more hands-on experience that Kood.tech gives is much more valuable. It means that those people are better ready for the interview process, also for the assessments, for actual communication with the senior developers who are assessing the suitability of the candidates to the position. So they're getting more of life school, overall. Kood.tech's program is unlike anywhere else, and I think that it's a great match when it comes to making them ready for actual job search.
Okay, but looking at it from a recruiter's perspective, when you have a list of hundreds of applicants with their CVs and resumes and portfolios in front of you, and let's say most of them have graduated from Kood.tech, then what are the kind of skills or unique sets that you actually look for in a person if you want to hire them at one point? I mean, how can you stand out among all of these different graduates who come from this fantastic coding school?
Very good question, actually very relevant. I wanted to cover that as well. Well, first things first, all the experiences count. Surely I'm 100% sure that not everyone who joined Kood.tech are just freshly graduates from high school, who most likely don't have much of the work experience, but those who have changed their careers, who switched their careers, it's always fascinating to see what people have done in the past. Not Kood.tech experience, but another one. I actually faced once a neurosurgeon doing a complete career transition from neurosurgeon. You know yourself, in 10 years you have to study for it only then. And switching to software engineering, started as a junior software developer. So it's always fascinating to see what you have done in the past. So all your experience counts. Therefore, I strongly recommend to graduates to put their previous experience, their previous projects on their resume. Of course, don't put too much. Don't write novellas. The optimal length of the CV should be 2 pages. If you want to put more, I strongly recommend to have strong LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like a virtual CV. You can put much more there. You can include your projects, volunteer work, anything, what you think that is really cool for the recruiter to see, but you understand that there's not enough of space in the regular CV to mention. But surely your side projects, your roles in those projects, skills like, of course, your hard skills, like technical skills, what you have learned so far, what technologies you have been utilizing and you have learned. But surely we as recruiters, we pay attention also to soft skills. Of course, when you're mentioning them on the resume, we cannot validate, okay, it's written. It doesn't mean that it's 100% true. We need to invite you to the interview, of course. Making your resume outstand from others, especially when it comes to internships or graduate positions or junior positions, it's definitely one of the hardest tasks to actually achieve, because there's a lot of people who are interested. The competition is much higher than for senior roles. Usually for senior roles, we don't have applicants. It's actually us who are hunting them. But if coming back to how to outstand and shine, definitely your past experiences, customer service, any service sector you have been doing. You have been a waiter, amazing. You know how to work with the time pressure, multitasking, memorizing things without writing them, because as a waiter, you never have like usually pen and paper next to you. It's somewhere in the counter. Also working with money, calculating, counting, being polite, being able to sell. Imagine, and it's only waiter. Imagine like if you have been working, I don't know, like as a doctor, as a teacher, psychologist, whatever, like even a construction worker. All the experiences count. And actually, it's always interesting to see like how your life switched from your former work to making this career transition. I actually yesterday had an interview with one candidate. I'm not going to tell her name or what she was doing, but she told me that she's in the process to get into Jõhvi. And I wished her, of course, best of luck. And she's also doing the career transition. And I also told her, yes, English, of course, is something that Bolt is really looking at because, yeah, we are English first company. So surely Jõhvi gives an opportunity to practice English live, because in other Estonian universities, it's not that common. I know that the JobFair, Estonian Business School, and some schools, there are more like English language lessons, but still having actual expats, having international students surrounding you, and all the curriculum is in English, also gives you a great advantage to practice your English live at the actual setting. So you don't have opportunity to speak other languages than English. So yeah.
Okay. So now that we've done the selection from the resumes and CVs that you have received, and the applicant or the candidate comes to have an interview with you, how should they conduct themselves during this interview? What kind of tips and pointers can you give them, and how to really bring your message across to the recruiter?
Of course. Well, as a next stage, yes, it's usually the interview with a recruiter. And bear in mind, especially at companies like Bolt, us as recruiters, we can have 20 to 30 interviews a week. And each of them is usually like 30 minutes. So you have to stand out. You have to be memorable. The way how you make us feel at the interview will also be remembered. So it's like a cultural aspect that we definitely take into consideration. Yes, you can have a great, strong CV, great technical skills, but if your communication skill is not on point, meaning you're very closed, you're not answering, you're not shining, so you're not actually expressing genuine interest during the conversation with a recruiter, then you have least chances to go through. Because when you're a junior, when you're just entering IT, what is really paid attention at is how you communicate, how you process the information, how you actually speak out. So we check how brave are you, how curious are you, how hungry are you for knowledge and new things. So this is usually like the drive that we're definitely looking at. Surely we want to hear how structured you are. So the topic that you know the most, it's you. So how structured can you present about yourself, like without going to a backstory, like when I was 6 and I decided that I'm really into coding. No, we don't need such a long backstory. Short, precise answers, going straight to the point is also what we're definitely looking at, because imagine at the work setting, you have a stand-up or you have to present in front of the senior stakeholders. They don't want to hear a backstory. They want to hear like straight to the point, facts, data, and recommendations and insights. So this is why we're also looking at already this skill, because it's part of the communication package. Another thing that definitely we as recruiters pay attention is surely like what are your other talents that are not mentioned in the resume. Surely I don't want to hear that you are like a circus, artist, or you're a dancer. It's great hobbies. It's just hobbies, let's put it this way. But whenever you're being asked by the recruiter, especially as a junior, tell me something that is not mentioned on your resume, a lot of people get lost because they really don't know what to tell about themselves. They have never practiced that. So being ready for such questions is also what I can definitely recommend. Practice maybe with your peers, try to interview each other, question each other. You can definitely, of course, ask AI tools regarding what kind of tricky questions I can be asked as a new candidate, as a junior aspiring candidate, and I really want to stand out among the other applicants. Usually what I myself I'm trying to navigate the candidates to here is, of course, what is their curiosity? Maybe what have they done lately? Maybe they have participated in some volunteer work or in some project, or they have learned new skill, but they decided not to put it yet on their resume because they consider that they're not strong enough for that yet. Or maybe they can mention me that they have read a book that is really interesting. So it's more of these kind of little things tell a little bit more story about yourself to the recruiters. So yeah. This is quite a long answer, I must say, but I hope that this was quite insightful.
No, this is very worthwhile information for our graduates and other people listening to this as well. But this just reminded me to actually ask you a question about, do you throw curveballs, these really abstract questions during your interview sessions as well? I know Google is notorious for asking really bizarre questions, something to do with blenders and quarters and, putting you in very bizarre situations where you have to come up with an illogical answer to a very logical question, only to show how your mind actually works and how do you cope with unexpected situations. Do you throw curveballs like that as well?
Well, I've never been told about that because how they're doing that at Bolt. Never been asked that. It's usually what is not mentioned in your resume is surely something that not a lot of people ask, not a lot of recruiters ask. Regarding this kind of question, no.
Oh, not in
the practice that I have been aware of, but surely what thing we do practice during the application stages for and the interview stages for juniors is the full day at Bolt and interviews. So you're actually coming with a group. You're being interviewed together. You might be put either on a live code task, design task, or anything, and you will be on site. So we will actually see you in action. This year we're doing it a little bit differently, therefore stay tuned. Actually, I will use this opportunity, of course. Bolt is currently having a lot of internships open, not just in software engineering and analytics, but we also have in design. So if you have any grads who have been studying UI UX design, we also have internships for that. And coming out completely outside of coding, we also have other HQ positions, people operations, legal, finance, you name it. So this year it's actually the first year when Bolt has opened so many internships, and also we have graduate programs. So internship will be only 9 weeks in summer from June till August. And then grad program is for 18 months. And grad program is mostly for those who are already graduating or about to graduate, and they really want actual work experience and they intend to possibly stay after finishing this grad program. Of course, both internship and grad program are paid. It's not for free.
Well, that's important.
No free labor. No. I do recommend all the graduates. Internships have to be paid.
Absolutely, I stand by that as well.
Yes, no free labor. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, but so now that's, let's say I have successfully been through one of your grad programs or your internships, and I actually land myself a position as a junior software developer with Bolt. Then what's the natural progression for me career-wise within Bolt after that?
Of course, it depends on you. I would say 80%, how you're showing yourself. But if you would like to know what is our metrics and how you can progress, of course, from junior, you progress to the specialist level. So you will be then software engineer, further senior software engineer. Then we have staff or principal software engineer. And then, of course, you can already become an engineering manager, senior engineering manager, and so forth. So this is if you call vertical progression. Of course, if you are not striving to lead, but you would like to be a subject matter expert and grow your expertise widely along the technologies, the platforms that we're using, the products that we have. Of course, you can grow within the company and move the departments. So within the software engineering and product teams, we have so many of them that you can experience. Yeah, you can experience, for example, site reliability. Maybe you're more of like a platform person who likes that. Or maybe you're more of a IoT, meaning that you actually like working with hardware.
Mm-hmm.
It's like building our scooters and all the software that is actually tracking our cars. So you can do that. Also, cybersecurity. If you're into it, you can try that. So there's many options that Bolt can offer, but it's up to you as a junior to show with your interest, with your passion, with your actions, towards which direction you want to grow. No one will serve you a promotion or a position on a silver plate.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually in your hands.
Well, thank you very much for this very insightful information, and we're very happy to have had you here. And I think you have taught many, many valuable lessons to our students and to other listeners as well. So thank you, and we look forward to maybe seeing you sometime in the future again.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Priit. Really nice talking, and wish all the grads best of luck.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to Kati and Sören. You are students and current students at Kood. So let's start by introducing yourselves first. So Kati, will go with you. Who are you? What have you done before? What brought you to Kood?
Hello, my name is Kati. I would start, I have learned in university real estate planning 10 years ago. Then I went to a job that I currently do. I am a GIS specialist. I do maps and web applications for our planning, like a general plan and other kinds of plans. But it's not really like a tech job. I have a framework to do it all. So I decided, or I kind of felt like I am getting bored of that, and it wasn't exciting enough anymore. So I was learning or searching for other things to do. So I found coding. At first, I just found a little course where I got to know that, I really like this process of coding. But I knew that it's not enough to enter as a job or anything, so I was looking something that was more like a see-through process, or that somebody has paved a pave.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking what other options I had, so I found Jõhvi. It had a good reputation. I went to the sprint, which was really exciting, so I somehow decided that I want to be a programmer, and that's where it started.
Okay. And what about you, Sören?
My background is in psychology. In one of my lectures, I first heard a term called UX design. And it wasn't until a few years later that I started to pursue a career in that field. At first, my designer abilities, skills weren't that good, so no one would build my user interfaces. And that's how I started building them myself. First through no-code platforms like WordPress, Webflow. Then started adding little bits of code into it to make it more interactive or more interesting. And then realized that if I want to build truly great products, then I have to know how to code, because this gives me full control over what I build.
That's a very interesting thought, and a good reason for joining as well, I suppose. But what about the learning experience so far? Have you learned something new about yourself that you weren't aware of before?
My self-esteem has risen, because I didn't really think I would be a good developer. I don't know that yet, but the things I've done made my self-esteem rise because I didn't really think I would be able to do them.
That's fantastic. And what about you, Kati?
Well, my self-esteem has gone up and down all the way.
Which is natural.
Yeah, I hadn't had that feeling for a long time that I actually don't know how to do things. The way it works there is you get this long exercise, and then when I read it, I was like most of the times I just read the exercise and I'm just like, I don't know even where to start. So that's where the kind of anxiety gets along, which I hadn't had before that much. Then I got used to that, so I learned to be in that feeling that, oh my God, I don't know anything. But then you get to talk to people and discover that other people also don't know anything. Because I was like really a beginner. I didn't know how the things are working. Some people are like more experienced. So yeah, I learned that.
And you're actually studying remotely.
I am.
How's
Yes.
that experience working for you?
It's kind of challenging to press everything together. Like I am working on a full-time job also, and then full-time learning experience also. But in my team, we have people who also have lots to do in their daytime, and so it's kind of all like managing time schedule, like do I want to code in the morning because I'm more fresh then? Or do I want to do it like my real job things in the morning and then do the codes things afterwards? So it's a big managing all the time. Also that I have to get myself to actually do it because no one is like saying that in Tuesday you have to do it. It's just all myself. Like.
What are the tips and tricks for self-motivation that you can share with others as well?
The most useful, I think, is make time in time schedule, like actual schedule. Like, for example, yesterday we had it like, okay, let's make a meeting at 5 o'clock. So you know you have to be there. You don't have any place to run away or just, I don't know, maybe later stuff. So I think this is one of the most, and also if you get to meetings and speak with people, I have a good teammate who we can like speak together like, oh, I just don't know how to do it. So she will also be like that sometimes. So we're just doing it together. It's like, okay, let's look at it together.
And Sören, you're actually doing the course not fully remotely and not fully on site, but as a hybrid of or combination of the two.
Yes. At first I was, I would say full-time on site. And I think it was a really good way to settle in. But now I've started to play with the remote and on-site periods. And now that I've settled in, it's more easy to work remotely. Yeah.
But what about the social interaction with your peers and your teammates and everyone else? Do you actually see each other physically from time to time, or is it everything done virtually over Zoom or Teams or something like that?
Well, my teammate right now lives in Spain, so I would love to go there, and but we're doing it remotely. So with inside my team, we are full remote. With some people, occasionally we see each other on some events that are happening, and but not. I wouldn't say it's a social experience like that. I don't get out every night or.
Of course.
People.
Yeah. And you?
Well, I've worked in many teams. I'd say like 4 different teams during my time in Jõhvi. I've been there like a year and 3 months. the teams were both on-site and through Zoom. Right now we have a through Zoom interaction. But I would say the social life doesn't really come from only from the teammates you have, but when you're on site, it's very easy to develop new friendships. I would say it's so important to me that I live in the same place with people who think about the same things, talk about the same things, and do the same projects as us, as me. Cooking is a big thing in the dormitory. Everyone makes such big, fancy dishes. That's a form of social interaction, community as well.
Oh, that's good fun. But I'll throw in a little kind of a cliche into the questions now. I mean, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I knew that question was coming.
I didn't.
I definitely would like to be on the IT field. Right now I'm on that process that I'm just learning to code. I've done it since last September. So right now it's just for me to get to know how to code. I took my time for it. And in 5 years, I would like to do this coding, but I don't know which direction to go or where to specialize.
But you have to choose some form of specialization at the end of the course, one way or another.
Yes, but we don't have those specialization courses out yet.
Okay.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
It will come on September, so I have like a whole summer before.
You can still decide about what you want to do.
Exactly.
So still out in the open. Okay.
Exactly.
And Sören, you're interested in the UX aspects of things, but what kind of UX-related work would you like to be doing in 5 years' time?
Well, I'm quite set on the journey I've taken in the software development world, and things are changing so quickly that I cannot imagine what happens in 5 years, actually. Yeah.
Okay, that's absolutely fine as well. I mean, you being a young person, and even if you're an older person, you still don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in 5 years' time. So absolutely all right to keep all of your options open. But our traditional final question has been to many of the students and graduates, who should apply to study at coding schools? I mean, if you can make recommendations to your friends or acquaintances about who would be the appropriate profile to actually suggest that, yes, they should apply for the school.
I don't know all the profiles, but I can say based on my profile, people who like to build things, who like problem solving, who like to see the results of their learning as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you. And Kati, what about you? Who would you recommend this to?
I agree. But I think there is no specific type of a person, just a willingness to know things. And if you like coding, you can try like small things, maybe just to try it out if you like the process. And if you like the process, and I don't think there is a special, you don't have to be a young guy with a ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
You can just try and apply, and I think it's for everybody who wants to do it. Okay.
Well, thank you. On that very positive recommendation, I think we can conclude this part of the episode. Thank you very much for joining us here for Codecast. Thank you, Kati. Thank you, Sören. And I wish you very best with your studies and very best for your plans over the next 5 years. Okay.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you. Artificial intelligence has been making waves across industries, sparking both excitement and concern about the future of work. At the JobFair, industry experts gathered to discuss one of the most pressing questions of our time: will artificial intelligence take my job away? The discussion, moderated by CEO Lauri Haav, brought together industry experts from Swedbank, SEB, Pipedrive and Omniva to unpack the impacts of AI on the job market. We bring you highlights from that panel discussion in this podcast. Enjoy. Our panel, a quick introduction about the panel. I think in combination, probably more than 100 years of shared experience in software development. I think I'm probably close. If I add myself, then maybe 120 years, but yeah, let's not do that. So safe to say, as it goes to human experience, this panel has a lot to say. We have, thankfully, quite a bit of time. I think we have like 40 minutes. So I will ask some questions, but you can all ask questions as well. Do we have Slido on the screens? Yeah? So if you can scan the code, then you can ask questions on Slido. And at the end, we will look at the audience questions. I think there's also a microphone somewhere around. So if you haven't used the Slido, that's also an option. And we also have, at the end, we have a surprise visitor as well. I hope that will work out and they can make time from their busy schedule to also come and make an appearance. Okay, so well, good, all set. So let's maybe start with introducing the panelists. So first to my right is Ragnar Toomla from SEB, and Ragnar is a product owner, which is a very cryptic title. But I can tell you this much, that Ragnar has worked in a bank for 28 years. So that takes us back to 1997, I believe. So this was also the year when I first got my first internet bank account. So I've been using an internet bank since 1997, but Ragnar here has been building it since 1997. So here's how much expertise we have. So during these 28 years, you have probably seen many technologies come and go. What has the effect been on the number of programmers at the bank?
You know, when I joined the bank straight out of the university, then I discovered that they had this like a huge printers in the back office, that every transaction that you made in internet bank was actually printed out and somebody signed and stamped. And
I knew it.
And yeah, right now we are all laughing, but back then it was, maybe there was some law that required that all transactions need to be signed by somebody. And I think this is one thing that I have seen, that this it comes and goes. That sometimes you have some rules that seem even outdated, but they are there, and then you need to build the technology around it. And I think, well, right now in Europe, there is a lot of discussions that we need to simplify and make things less regulated. So I think it comes with the waves as well, that sometimes it's a lot of regulations, sometimes we try to kind of work around, find some new technologies. And I think this AI is also one thing that is helping us to do that.
Well, thank you. And we'll have more questions to you and SEB Bank. But then our next panelist, Olgun Chakabey from Swedbank. And Olgun, I think you have lived in Estonia for 14 years?
Yes.
And out of those 14 years, 12 years you have worked at Swedbank.
Yeah.
And I was checking on LinkedIn how many people we have in common with Olgun, and we have a lot of people in common. Strangely though, all of them are technology people. So my question to Olgun is like, you don't like the business side of the bank too much, do you?
To be honest, I can tell one thing. My father worked in a bank, so it's a curse in a family, right? It's not that I don't like. I'm a computer engineer and I have a master's degree in software engineering. So I would like to be on the IT side of banking. And luckily, nowadays, fintechs or banks, they're heavily investing on IT systems. So I prefer to be on the IT side and keeps my hands dirty, not like doing some traditional banking activities.
I think you're probably on the right side. If that side is growing, then you're on the right side. Excellent. Welcome to the panel. Then we have Martin Kapp, currently head of engineering platform at Omniva. And again, I need to kind of inject myself into it. Do you know, I have actually used every product that you've made. So starting from Pipedrive, starting from Skype, actually, yes. I was a very early user on that, among the first 100 or so. Then also Pipedrive. Then, of course, I'm a big fan of Algorithm Podcast. Those who know, Martin is one of the leading lights. Yeah.
at the Algorithm Podcast.
Every Thursday. So tune in.
Every Thursday. I think it's in Estonian though. So
it is in Estonian.
That's the minor kind of drawback. So you have to learn Estonian, but Estonian is not harder than Go or Java, I can tell you. So if you manage to learn that, you can also learn Estonian, listen to Martin live. So in a way, in technology, your story is almost like this kind of rags to riches, bellboy to director kind of thing. So you started out as a QA,
yes.
And now you're engineering lead or head of engineering. So is that the path that you would also recommend to people in the audience to take nowadays?
It's kind of hard to say what I would recommend to people because it's something that suited me. And during all of these years, what I figured out is the best path is what you like doing. And for me, it wasn't the goal of reaching even this position. I never really had a goal of being like a leader in a company or a tech unit or something like that. I just wanted to learn about as many things as I could. And this, eventually it will lead to you into a place where people will come to you with different kind of things. You will have many experiences, and then it sort of becomes natural, and you kind of like feel like, yes, okay, I can do more by teaching other people or, giving them the tools and the processes that they need so that we can all be more effective together. So I think this is what my recommendation is. Do what you love doing more. If you like leading more, take every opportunity. If you like knowing more stuff, take every opportunity, learn about different skill sets or disciplines, and you will be good.
Thank you. And last but not least, Vadim Zapolsky. So you have also been in the trade for more than 20 years, and you also started out as a QA engineer. You also worked with Martin at Pipedrive at some point. And if I understand correctly, you are from Belarus?
Yes, that's correct.
Excellent. We also have a member of Kood.tech staff who is from Belarus. And I didn't know that she's from Belarus for almost a half a year because in all meetings she was speaking Estonian. So if we have Katja here. Anyway, so it seems, oh my God. So it seems that people from Belarus are very good with languages. And you mentioned Go as your kind of primary language on your resume. So we are kind of split between Go and Java. And so the question to you is like, does it actually even matter? So when you have a new engineer joining your team, is it something you care about? What is the primary language of coding?
Honestly, it doesn't matter much. Probably if you have very, very specific tasks at a very specific language. But overall, I would say that today, engineering is more about writing the code anyone can read, regardless the language. It's like, I don't know, in natural language, if you're writing the poems, they are good in any language. So you're not into that, okay, I will be reading only authors in German or in English or in French. So it can be translated, it can be good in any language. But for advocating, there are like pros and cons of each language, and it's a tool. So when you see the challenge, you decide which tool you would use for that specific challenge. And especially today's in AI life, it brings another set of tools into the game, basically.
Well, thank you. My poems are not good in any language, so. We are on a job fair after all, right? So let's maybe a little bit shift towards hiring. And since you guys are here, so I'm thinking if you wouldn't be hiring, you wouldn't be here. So maybe a very direct question about your tech organizations. Have you seen a noticeable impact on hiring specifically due to AI? Are you hiring more because of AI? Are you hiring less because of AI in these kind of technical roles? Again, if you can share, then, but of course we're all friends here, so it will not leave this room. Well, it has already anyway. So, but maybe start with Ragnar again, if you don't mind.
Yeah, maybe as I'm not hiring to technical roles myself, but I sort of know what's going on there. So maybe to start from our own side, so we are using a solution called Alva Labs, so which is like a helping to conduct interviews. So that's already like a part of the AI. So it's not really like a helping anything for the persons applying, but it's helping us to be more effective and to kind of filter out the relevant persons. So that is like a very like a significant impact as well. What I know as well is that usually especially this like a very like a fresh persons maybe just entering into the job market, they tend to use ChatGPT when they're applying as well, either to write some motivation letters or doing some homeworks and things. So this is like a more like visible that, okay, it's not really the person, but it's maybe some AI behind there. So that is something to kind of be mindful as well, that I mean, it's okay to use them, but you still need to have your own brain as well.
Thank you. What about the others? How are your organizations changing in terms of technical roles? Are you hiring more or less because of AI specifically? Or maybe it has no relevance at all. Maybe there's market forces at play. So.
Yeah. Fun fact, before the rise of AI and ChatGPT at Pipedrive, while concluding the interviews, one of the parts is live coding, right? So, and we were constantly telling to people that use whatever tools you want in order to conclude this live coding, right? Now we have to make a disclosure. So you can use any tools except tools which generate the code for you. And we explicitly ask to disable so that we can see, they share the screen, so that we can see that these things are disabled. So this is the funny part, what like transition. But actually, it changes a little bit the attitude that it is always beneficial if candidates, they do understand at least what are the large language models, what they can do, at least that they can say, okay, ChatGPT is one of large language models, so that they are understanding the trends today. Apart from that, one interesting switch actually, in many organizations, I believe there is a separate department like data warehouses, like some people who are dealing with the data mostly, right? And all the data scientists, machine learning engineers, data engineers, and so on, traditionally had always been there in their own soup, let's say like that. But today, we need more of these kind of people to be present in a product development so that they are coming as the bridge towards that data. So this is the, I would say, the transition which we experience right now.
I know you have been only half a year at Omniva, but
yeah.
from that time period, you see, are the number of roles increasing or decreasing?
No, I think if we talk in the context of has the AI impacted the hiring process, then probably not, because I think the value of AI comes from a different place, from the efficiency. So for the most companies, if you have budgets, you will still want to use that budget. So whether you can, what you can do with that budget is kind of what the goal is. You still want to be efficient and do more. So I don't think like it increases or decreases. It depends, of course, on the company. In Omniva, we don't do AI products for the end user yet, so there's no specific roles even right now. You know, who's to say it might change in the future, but not right now. But you know, relying a little bit on the podcast that we made in the past few weeks, there has been a couple of very good talks, and one was about hiring, and HR people themselves are using AI tools, which is amazing, actually, to hear, to find the candidates and actually to understand the background of the candidate. So I think in that process itself, I think it's been very helpful. But yeah, it's not something that I work with on a daily basis, so it's kind of hard to comment whether we use them in Omniva or not.
Shortly, I can say it affected us, but with the third-party company that we use, we are using an HR recruitment platform, and they have some built-in functionalities, AI built-in functionalities. One of them was also, like Ragnar said, Alva Labs. They're applying some personality or logical tests on the candidates. And another thing I can mention is sometimes I was seeing candidates in our pool who didn't apply for this specific role. And I was asking HR, who are these people? Like, because there was a separate link. And the answer I was getting, like, okay, AI actually found these people. At some point, these people gave us consent. They are in our larger pool with the keywords or some requirements that I have put there, they were kind of matching people. So it affected us. But regarding the usage in hiring or expecting candidates to have this AI skills, to be honest, it's not that easy right now. I mean, we are also trying to figure it out, like how we can use AI in our daily work, or how our developers or our frameworks or processes are going to use AI. We have still some time needed.
Thank you.
Maybe if I may add, then I think for the number of developers, it doesn't really have so big effect. Maybe in like long run, you kind of have this efficiency. You need maybe less coders, and then this is affecting. But what is creating like a new role is, or not new, but where we need more people is data science. So people who actually understand how to train those models and then how to really work with the data. It's not a huge number of people, but usually these are the ones who are really hard to get.
One final question from me to the panelists is, so what technical skills will still be in demand? What is worth learning? Because we have an audience full of people learning the trade, learning the new technologies. So in your opinion, a little bit, peeking into the future, knowing what we know today, what technical skills are still worth learning and what people shouldn't really waste their time on anymore, in your opinion?
Let me start with the cliche ones, definitely AI development, learning model development in AI, machine learning algorithm, machine learning languages, not only learning the language itself, but learning the algorithms. Let's say you learn Python, but also do something with Python, build a project. That's the best way actually to just make up a project from your mind. But if you are interested in AI, then check some machine learning algorithms that I can suggest. Worth learning, I think also whatever is related to data analytics, data science, these are still will be in high demand in the future. I also feel I have a very close friend of mine. He works in cybersecurity, and he's already telling me that with the AI development or getting wider in the world, he says that they are facing new challenges. So I believe whatever you're working with, you also need to understand the impact, how AI is going to impact that area. So try to widen the scope of your knowledge in that angle. Reskill or upskill. That I can say shortly.
I have maybe a little bit different approach. I don't think the exact technical skills will be that important in the future. Because again, we have so many languages and so many tools already for our use. But what it comes down to, who is a developer or who is an engineer? It's someone who can logically put and order instructions for the machines to do what they need to do, right? So it's the logical thinking that you need to practice instead of actually, whether you write hello world or whether you write, whatever. So it's kind of the mindset itself of the developers that make a developer. It's the syntax that you learn as a language, that you can express yourself, but it's the thinking that makes you kind of the developer. And I don't think that this will go anywhere. So this, if you practice this, then you can go into analytics and you can go into cybersecurity because you'll be able to do the logical instructions and make deductions, the other way around as well. So it's in my university days, I don't think what we had, some subject which was about logical, whatever, mathematics or something like that. It was the most boring thing. But after 5 years, 10 years, you start to see, damn it, it's here again. You just have to put 1 and 1 together, or A and B together, or A or B, or not C and D, but not E. And then what you get out of it is what you get out of it. And it's the same with AI tools. It's the way if you understand what large language models do, and if you can then take that to your advantage and tell them what they need to do, this will make you a good developer in the future, I think.
Vadim, Rainer, do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I agree. And maybe one thing I have a master's degree in system analysis and design, and then again, this like a most complex or boring was the algorithms. And it's really blows your mind when you kind of go into this like things or what's behind. But when you think about how Waze is working, how it is finding this like a quickest route from one point to another, it's all like algorithms. Somebody like in the 60s or 70s has thought through how this could work, and now the technology is there to enable it. So I think it's worth to really look into those algorithms. There is like a special like a category even for algorithms where people are competing that who can kind of make the program most efficient. So no matter what the language, I don't think this matters. I absolutely agree that it's like just another way of expressing, but in the end it's still this if then or some sort of data models. Other thing what I would recommend is to, especially in terms of AI, it's a lot about ethics as well. So the technology is there. Sometimes we should maybe not use it as it is possible. So it's a lot about like making good calls and then judgments. So this is like one thing that is maybe, I would not call it like a soft skill, but it's definitely one thing where you should kind of develop yourself as well, is to understand really that what is ethical, what is not ethical. And then also in training the data models, very hard problem is the bias. So it depends a lot about what kind of data you have. So that's why I think this is also important, that whenever you're working with some sort of AI tools, you need to understand what's behind, where the data is coming from. So like you said as well, that we have like a limited data in Swedbank, what we can use. So this means that the outcome is not the best one. So I think like try to kind of search for those areas and then to get better in those, and then you will be in good demand.
I'll probably pick some different perspective of it, in a sense that AI definitely helps engineers to write their code, right? But in order to assess the code, whether it's written good or bad, you also need to understand what it says. So I think that one of the concepts here is fast spotting mistakes, because if you do not spot it at the time, it will be bug in the live environment, and that might be incident or what's not. Because one thing which will stay forever, I would say, is hallucinations. Hallucination is basically what large language model gives you incorrect answer in some aspect. So this will stay forever. The question is about percentage, but this will stay. And another thing which is hard for us engineers sometimes is the way how we express what we want to achieve. Large language model can write the code. It can write almost everything for you, but it cannot read your mind. So you need to understand how to express your thoughts to it. Try to play around with some ChatGPT even and give it more and more and more context about what you want to get as the result. So in my opinion, engineers would need to learn how to express fully what they need to achieve. And not only how to express it fully, but how to do it fast. Because many times you might think too much and understand that, okay, I might be writing this code by myself faster than describing what I want, right? But if you will master describing what you want at the end, that would be extremely amazing and beneficial.
I would add maybe that it's not only important to be able to express what you want to the AI, but a lot of the work is also collaboration. So you need to be able to express what you want to other people around you as well.
Of course. Just because that AI doesn't give you, it always agrees with you, right? Humans tend to challenge each other. AI does not. In a sense that you can gaslight it, right? You can say, you are incorrect. And it will say, yes, I'm incorrect. Here is a different answer. And that's how it's different. So in order to tell it to agree with you, you need to be sure that you are correct first of all.
So maybe next question quickly. What is the one thing you would not use AI for? Maybe Martin or Olgun.
Leading teams or organizations, probably not a good idea. You can get some really good hints because essentially it has insight from the internet, from the other people, but judgment in terms of how people behave and work together, it should always be up to other people.
I think I'm gonna answer this. I'm not gonna, because I have heard some managers or engineering managers, they're even writing performance reviews in AI. I think I'm not gonna do that because it's very visible, like that you take it from ChatGPT.
So maybe next one, has there been a measurable increase in effectiveness from using AI? Or has the work of implementing these tools overweighted the benefits of using them? That's a loaded question.
It's a good question, yeah. Like, I don't think it's overloaded. Maybe some areas. It's when people try to use AI to do something that it shouldn't be doing. This is where you start to spend too much time on AI tools. So you have to understand what each of the AI tools is capable of doing and why it should be helpful to you. Because it's also, people think, the topic is, will AI take my job away? Okay, I have one answer, which is yes, it will, but
There's always a but.
There's always a but. I think the job will change. So a traditional software developer job will go away, but it will be replaced by many other software developer jobs. And it will depend on how and in which manner you will learn to use some specific tools and which other disciplines you merge together, because this is what will happen. Like there won't be a single-sided job, but like many other roles which are combined together, and this is what the future operation will be.
Thank you for listening to Koodcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and please make sure to visit Kood's website for further reading and other episodes. Remember, it's kood.tech. Once again, kood.tech. Be seeing you.